I'm Bernard. I'm a member of the CESM team, which work on the CECI consortium with the other university, UNAMUR, ULiège, UMons, and ULB. Nowadays, the topics, there are 3 sessions today. This current session is about module. We'll see what's the module and so on the different cluster, but mainly we will work on element 3 because I'm more familiar with that, but it's the same on the other cluster. And after this session, this is a session about Vim, which is a powerful editor. So you can edit, modify, and customize all your file, your script, your submission script with Slurm and so on. And this afternoon is about bash scripting. So last week in UNAMUR, we have worked with the basic Linux, Unix command, how to find a file, how to create a subdirectory, and so on. Now we go on a higher level. We can script and put all this instruction into a program. We can program, and it's interpreted by the shell command, and so you can define a variable. You can put the result into a file. You can classify and sort different arguments and so on. You can create subroutine, and so it's a full language. You can use that to automate your action. For instance, to submit your script when another one is finished and so on. Plenty of things you can do with bash scripting. So you can log on Lemaitre 3. There will be 3 parts in this training session. I will first show you the different command and what's a model, how to search for a specific program. So mainly, you can have a look also to the CECI HPC documentation, which is well done. And after that, we will play a little bit with WooClap. So I will ask some questions. And if you are familiar with the WooClap, you can connect to WooClap.com and use this code to go into this. And the first part, I've prepared 2 open exercises how to use the different model, how to load all the release of module and so on, and also how to build your own software with Easybuild. It's a way to do that, but there are plenty of other ways I will show you. So you logged on Lemaitre 3. You remember your key, and you make an SSH to connect on it. You are on it. If you have an SSH agent running on your machine, you can directly connect into this because in the memory of your laptop there is the passphrase already decrypted. So you can connect on Lemaitre 3. Then you get some information. This is the message of the day. It's not the same. This is dynamic because you have information about what's the load, the current load of the cluster, how many jobs are running, what's your job, your home job, what's your quota on the home, on the scratch, and so on the different file system. This is space where we can store data. Also information about the expiration of your account, because you have to renew all year your account. and how to start some documentation, so how to install software and how to use Slum, because on the cluster, we don't run interactively on the front end, on the machine upon which we are logged, but we submit script. This is why we will have a scripting session. We submit script, and so this is the Slum system who decided where to run according to your requirement. Something interesting, because module use this, is the environment. When you are logged, you have a shell, and a shell have its own environment. You can set different variables. Two important variables are the path. The path is the search path, the different subdirectory, and the order is important, where the executable are searched to be found. So, for instance, I logged into Lemay. You see, I an SSH agent, so I'm directly logged, information and so on. If I do environment, I see plenty of things. So also there the patch environment and so on. The home variable is important because it's often used. The loaded module and so on. We will see that. If I do echo path, I display the value of this variable, and this is the search path. So first, it will search for stuff located inside this. I can have a look. You see, there is some executable due to the color of the ls. If I do bin ls of this, I will not have any color, just green. It's when it's executable. Depends, I can't remember. If I do ls, red is something just like a tarball or a package. Subdirectory are in blue. This is just do this. I can do that, for instance, grep ls. I don't remember. And so the color there were greps. It's not very or grep color minus e. Yeah, this is the definition of the ls color. If I unset this variable, everything will be in the same color. Okay, never mind. Empty habit. Searching there. So, what's a model? When you type model on the machine, you get a little help, because without any argument, a model is useless. So, model help, this is the default command, or model need subcommand. And we will see the main model command and how are organized the model. So first you need to know that there is two concepts important. It's the meta model, and which is the which contain different release. We will see what's a release, and a toolchain. Toolchain is a collection of compiler and collection of library which work well together, which are well bundled. For instance, the GNU GCC, the GNU compiler collection with library just like LAPACK, Scalapack, and OpenMPI or and pitch. It depends on its a hierarchical view of different software compiled together. So with this tool chain, you can, if you want, compile your own software, use all the library which are mainly necessary to work on the cluster in a parallel environment, so in on a multi-node cluster. And there are toolchain with, as I said, free and open source software, which is called FOSS toolchain, and MPI, Intel compiler. And Intel compiler contains the Intel compiler for C, for Fortran, the specific and optimized for Intel map kernel library, MKL, Intel map kernel library, which contains all the fast Fourier transform, the LAPACK and ScalaPack and so on, well optimized and well compiled by Intel. And also specific Intel compiled MPI version. MPI, there will be also training session how to use this library to create parallel software. As I said, two main Intel toolchain and free or new mainly free and open source software toolchain. If I do model available, I get all the available model. It's you can take that the first time, depends on the cache, or it's the demo effect. Yeah. As I said, meta model contain all the different release, because 2 times a year, most of the time, we create a full bunch of all the software, and we put that into a well-defined release. Release, for instance, of last year, but the first part of the year. So, and after that, the B version arrived. Mainly the version are nearly the same on all the software, except with bug correction and so on. So it may happen more. Maybe there are more bugs and more trouble using a B version of a year release instead of A release, but not all the time, of course. I'll talk about this, which is and the name we have created because it's convention. We have decided that there are software which are needed by the user, required by the user, or installed because it's commercial software, and it doesn't depend on a specific release. So this is an independent software installed, and we can see what this toolchain contains. Plenty of commercial software as Abacus, Fluent, or specific language as Julia, Git shell. This is what we have played. Other optimizer or debugger or chemical program, just like Gaussian and so on. And then with a model available, I get all the software installed for a specific release. You see, normally it will be faster. You see that this release, which is taken, that means it's always seen, is currently loaded because this color that means that for me it's loaded, and the D means that this is the default release. If you don't specify any specific release, when you log, you will get the default release, which is currently 21B. But if you want to load another one, you can do that. And this is with other module argument. I show you model available. There are shortcuts all the time because and Unix people are lazy, so they like small words, just like ls for and so on. I want to load a specific model. If it's in the current release, I'll load it by module load and then the model name. And since I want to load for instance, model load. If I don't specify the version, because slash means the version of the software. GCC core, that means that it's built on a specific tool chain there, or minor tool chain, but tool chain, whatever. By default, it will load, I think, the newest one. If I now want to type Bison, it works. If I type which, Bison, up, I see a very difficult path because it's in my search path. The module, when I've download Bison, I've set all the necessary variable, which is the man path, the library, the dynamic library load path, and variables such as the home of the software and so on. It's specific on all the software I load. So I see that it's an optional software, and it's built with Easybuild because it's also there are also manual software, manual installed software, the release version, and then the name of the software and the release of the software, and then the path, which are just like in Unix, they are bin, they are man, they are so on. And then when I most of the time I do that verbal, so I think that I just want the version. -v all the time. I see that I've loaded this version because model available. The newest one is this one. But if I want to load an old one, right, I get the information. Previously, I have this one, and so due to my command, I unload it and I swap it by an oldest one. And now, my version, capital V, I see that it's not the same. When I've loaded a model, I want to know what are the currently loaded for me, a loaded model list. And then I see the meta module about the release information, the toolchain independent software module by default loaded, and the dependency. When I load Bison, you need a Benutil, you need a GCC core, and so on. So everything is loaded to have something coherent and to be able to execute this interpreter easily. I want to remove everything I've done, all the change, all the load module. I can make a purge. Purge is something very strong because I started to the default and the unpurge module, which are the meta module release with the release year and the toolchain independent software module. So I see the list of currently loaded software, how to purge it. And something very useful is when you search a model, because here all the information are only on the current release level. And if I get all the available model, I don't have all the model, and sometimes everything is not reinstalled when the newer release is build is created. So I have to search for older release. And with that, oh, I did it. Yeah. Model spider, for example, GCC. I want to search, and so I will search through all the old version from the year 16 to 22. It will search for all the GCC version, and you see. For instance, I will let you do that. Try to load the GCC, the oldest version of GCC, the 4.9. Try to do that by yourself, and you will see some difficulties. You have done spider, you see, there is a 4.9 and I want a very old GCC version. I load it. But there's some trouble. It's okay, you succeeded in doing that? Because I failed. You can contact the help desk. So this is well done. They give you what you have to tip to search. And by spider, you can see this one. You will need to load all modules. So there are 2 releases containing this version of GCC. And then it's great. I can do that in 2 steps or in 1 step. Load. I take the newest one. And then I want this. If I don't set a version, maybe in this release, there are newest GCC version. So if I want to fix the number of version of the software, I specify this like this. And then in 1 step, it said that I've changed from release, the default release, to oldest one. And then if I check GCC minus V, this time it's and which is located into CECI software Easybuild, the release version number is A or B, software GCC core, everything is in GCC for the number of version to get the GCC. And if I want to get back to the default GCC, if I do model purge, it's one step to do that, but I will stay into the release. I don't change that. If I want to get back to the default release, then I change that. Or I can, instead of load, I do swap. Unload is also available to unload just a specific software installed as a model, instead of purge, which is destroying and unloading all the loaded model. Then I'm back to 2021. And so, what's the default GCC? I can check which GCC. I see, this is something special. GCC -V. I see, in fact, this is not a module version. It is default GCC installed by the system. It's Linux based on Red Hat, but it's not Red Hat. It's CentOS. But the GCC default for the system is an old version of 4.85, and currently, if you check module list, you will see that I don't have any GCC module loaded. By default, if I load just module load GCC, I don't know which version I will have. I can search, try. This one. And so I don't use anymore the default system compiler, which is located in user bin, because in my search path, in the path variable, first I have this this one arrives first before user bin. So in the search path, we will find first GCC. Of course, if I do user bin GCC -V, it also works. So I can force by absolute path use a specific GCC version. Show is an help to see what's contained in this module, a small resume of what's the purpose of this module, what's it doing, what's the software, and get help. This is what we do when we don't use any argument. Module show. See. So small description. We compile a connection contain C, C++, Fortran, Java, CECI, as well as HAB. Where is the help, and what's the seated environment, the Easybuild development GCC, Easybuild version GCC, and so on. So you get information by using show. Show, try to search. When you have a well-configured environment for your own stuff, for your own work, you want to save it because you know that if you play with a different model, you can lose your way through all the different organization of software. So you can save a current state by using module save and then giving a name. For instance, I I just have the GCC, okay, model list, and I'm model list. I'm happy with this, and I do model save my good GCC. Then if I made a model purge or whatever, or if I log out and log back, GCC minus under the default system. I don't have a model save list. Says that I've already played. For default is when I save just by setting any name. My good is the third one. So model restore my good GCC. And then all the environment which was set when I've saved this this list are restored directly. Even if it's another release and they are in currency, everything is solved, everything is set to the same saved environment. And if you want to look that, you go into ls lmod d. It's an hidden subdirectory. It begins by a dot. So when you click by default ls list, you will not see it, but you see just create it because you see the creation date. My old GCC is there. If I remove this file, it will be clean. So this save state will not be usable anymore. You have your own software, you want to install it. It's funny because we see that there are plenty of users which are working with Ubuntu. So they are familiar with sudo. Sudo is to get the administrator right. So if we let a user be able to install on the system with a sudo privilege, till I think that in one day everything is destroyed. So try apt-get install. It's for Ubuntu, it's for Debian, it's not yum install, it's for the administrator, and it's installed most of the time in the user bin or user local, but not in the full CECI software path. The package also to install. That the fourth things with a table that can work, in fact, if you specify where you want to install that at the end. Because you can install software in your own directory, but it consumes space because you have a quota, so a limit amount of the size in your own directory is not so big because there are plenty of users. So if you have your own software, you install that yourself, you are happy with that, but sometimes it's a waste of space because you have a full team, a research team, and everybody install the same software in his own directory. And even if they are in currency in the compilation and there are people in the same team who get different results because of optimization level, which are different. So you can ask to the system administrator, I would like to install that software. Even if they are license manager or things like this, we can try, or we do our best effort to install that and to create a model for you. So you can use that as a model. And also, if user try to use restricted by license and the respect of the properties, they get a warning saying that you're not allowed to use this software. Please contact the administrator and to see if you have the ability to use that, and you can set you in the team which are allowed to use this commercial software. But Easybuild is a very useful tools used to compile and to install a very complex package of softwares in one step, and everything is built, you have seen, or based on the release, on the coherent software and so on. So they've done a very important job in the HPC world, and we can use that to compile our software and not to compile everything each time. Do that. And as I said, Easybuild is the command. We will play as at the end. I will prepare two exercises. One on the module, load and compile with the same sources with different GCC version. And the second exercise is to use Easybuild for a small program. After that, when we have created and installed your own model, you need to load a meta module, which is called use own, and it will find and set the current path where your module is installed, which are located into hidden subdirectory .local in your own. Not so important, but it exists. The advantage of Easybuild is that it's compiled and optimized for the specific architecture. When you have an heterogeneous cluster, there are plenty of different machines, and the same program are compiled, but each time for a specific generation of Intel or generation of AMD compiler, and that means that when you submit a program and you start on, I said, a million AMD EPIC machine, this software compile is optimized for this specific architecture. So you get the best performance, and the performance is HPC is important. On Lemaitre, we can have a look to that, because there are two different architecture. One is Skylake machine, which are the most working node. All the working node are Skylake machine. So it begins to be a little bit outdated, this version of Skylake, and Lemaitre 4 is arriving in less than 1 year. We will have a Lemaitre 4, we will see. And we have a specific with only 4 nodes of a specific partition, which is called debug. And the difference is that when you submit on debug, the length and the duration of your program is shorter. That means that you have a better turnover to use that. And but the difference is it's an older generation of processor, of Intel processor, compared to Skylake 5. And you will see that you search for Open Blast library. Okay, use that. Oh, Alice. You see, Open Blast, when you compile a program, it uses a dynamic library which are loaded during the starting of the program. And it's a symbolic link to a Skylake optimized Open Blast library. But if I search for, I need to be or I submit it. It's not fair. SSH LM 3 working node. I think this one. Oh, oh. I think that I still have in my. You see, in this, so your executable don't need to be recompiled because when it starts, it load, when it need open class, it load the current and the corresponding library. But you see, it's a symbolic link to an as well optimized open class library because the architecture is different. And this is the great advantage of building that on Easybuild. So on Lemed, there are only two architecture, but on heterogeneous cluster like Manback or the one can have a lot of different family of processor, and it's automatically down. But it was just a small. Everybody is able to log on the Woo class. Okay. This is the, you can use that, or use with your smartphone with the QR code. Yeah. I have only 10 questions, so just for the fun, you can put your nickname or surname, whatever, and you will see that if you answer properly. Yes. Oh. Oh, yes, like this. Oh, that's. Oh, yeah. Oh, can I? How many releases are available on the Magic 2 on model release? 7, but only one, 2, 3. Oh, 7. Come on. Yeah. Okay. Can we change when we have set? Okay. So I will see that the majority is trying this one. I want to change. Model. So, release. Depends if LEC specific version can be counted as a release. I can't take it. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4. And I check for the correct answer. Okay. Yeah. Oh, it's can play with Unix command to see. I don't work on root. It's not beautiful. I want to have this only in one lane, on one line. It's With redirect, I put it's tricky, but I put the result in the, not in the error output, but in the command and standard output. And then with wide only one, I want only one column. And then I grab only things matching with release. And then in one step, word count. I think that is the correct answer. Also, just great. What's the current default release? Oh, I talked a lot about this. It'll be faster. Woo! I will 1, 2. You remember? It's seen by the default. Yeah, of course, the line is split it. Easy. On 20, I get a fast. Yeah. At the beginning, it's easy, but this one, why is called a toolchain independent software? What does that mean? Right. What do you think? Then we will see what's inside this intermediate. People who don't have any idea, fine. I don't know if it's still allowed when you put a wrong answer on QCM if you get a -1. Okay, I will not have any. Oh, yeah. People will try. I command. You see, I will load one specific module. J. And you see, that means that I don't care about capital or lower letter. This is the matching. And so I see everything is built into this software. And I look, I go there. When I make a long ls, I see that the year is not specific to 28, but 20, 22, 80, 21. So I think that it's not variable on a specific release toolchain. And that's true, it contains commercial software, but not all. And of course, the version is, it's not built, let's see, they are every year, it depends on the arriving of software, of commercial software or specific software. Install this into this next one. I want to see my active models. Fast. It's an easy one. Okay, that's true. Model show give you information about the modular, a small what is this model and what are the variables set for this model, just information where it's located and so on. But model list gives you all your currently loaded model. And model load is in order to load them. Model available is to get the list of the available model for this current meta model release. Easy one. I want to check how many new compiler collection are available in the current release, in the default current release. Can hide this, so you are not influenced. How you search for that? Like this? No. You can play this. Redirect everything in the same output direction. Trouble. In one. A subcommand, of course. That's what I want. So maybe this one will be more useful. what's the current loaded model and the default. Oh, I go too fast because I give the solution. Okay, you see. So redirect. That means if I don't put this, everything is one line. It's more easy to grab. I do that. Grab. Do that. But I can do that from a GCC. I have plenty of things, and I don't want GCC. So having this, I see this one, but I have software built with a specific GCC version. So if I load open this version of OpenBlast, it will automatically load this version of GCC. That's right. Sorry. That was true. Don't remember. Yeah, I think that I made how many are available in the current. This is what I've done. This one is okay. This is 3. And the second question, the problem is the second question is let's fix that. Sorry, because I didn't see when I use the dimmer. The size of the font are too big and this is not displayed. But this question is on all the release. Doesn't depend on the current loaded release. I wanted to see how many new GCC are available on Lemaitre 3 in general. And this is more than 3, of course. I can use the same command as this, but a little bit different. This one. But not all, not there. Oh, that font, I display that. No, Spider is not. Oh, Spider G. No, it's so full. Okay. This one. Then, and this one is not. It's a text. So this is the number there. I see. I want to, and the next question is based on to load a specific version. Sorry for that. I want to use the model with the oldest version of GCC. What I do. You can try that by yourself. It's funny. To get this version, the oldest one. And you remember I've done this. I tried to load it. I get an error message with information on how to solve that. Then I solved it. This is funny because there are two release components. This is not a text. That's why there is no success. But there are two options. You can use this metamodel release old and this one. And with this version, you don't need to specify the version because this is the default one. But when you use this one, you have to specify the version. This is why it was. Both are okay. Before. Because it's a 6.4 and I asked for an oldest one. Again, the text is not explained. Here, I work with the TIS model, the TIS release, and there are some software I cannot use because I get error message saying that you need to have the permission to use that. Ask for the administrator to set you if you are eligible to use it. Ask for us and we will set you in the group of people allowed to use this software. You have the information about the different. And the TIS, the toolchain independent software, is always displayed because I see currently loaded an old one, but for the toolchain, still displaying. I see Fluent software. I see it's alphabetic order. Gaussian software. There is a specific version. Chain software. And in the list, I suggest to you, there are one that contains two software with restrict access. more time to check. I see 9:25. Ah, I'm in the group. I may do that. Oh no, sorry. I saw. The capital. You see. Spider search doesn't care about capital or lower letter, but when you load the model, you have to have the correct name. It's installed not with Easybuild, it's installed with manually. So we get the CD-ROM or the table and install that. And it's not dependent on the architecture. So this is the difference. Commercial software are not all the time optimized for all the architecture. Not all the time. It's okay, you have found it both. I think that QChem also, Fluent and Abacus, those are commercial software. You need to get the license to use it, but there is no restriction when you try to load the module. Sometimes there are a license manager, which is a daemon running on the machine, and in order to start this, you ask for the license manager, can I start this program? But it's something different than just to be in the group, to have access to the software. Java, the license in Java is different. Our view is commercial software. So, right, of course. The default Python version where there are no Python module loaded against, then there are no Python. And you see how to be sure that it's not a Python from a module. You check by which is the executable. Python -v. No. Oh, it's capital. Sure. It was working previously. Minus or see this loaded. And Python need plenty of dependency to code on a specific toolchain. So I do that by purpose. Let you the command, not all the participants. And you see that you have plenty of Python available. And there are modules which use Python, but a lot of Python software for specific use. Biology and Python is parallel library embedded. So that other model match to this meta character. Everything starting with a dot and then by. Okay. Remember the question was when there are no Python model loaded in your current environment. That's why I'm surprised that because I picked this. To see that I've done this before doing check the version. So are you sure that it's not coming from a module? I 20, still 3 questions. 3 guys, 1 answer, and then I stop. No, no, 1, 2, 3. With the default user bin Python is an old one. Of course, if you want Python 3, you can specify. It's in software also, of course. Model load. Which Python 3? User bin Python 3. And the Python by tip, it suggests different matching version. Python 3 minus p. Python is what I asked. Without any model, it's 275. And it's the default system installed in user bin. Specific. In the first release of 21 was the version of Intel C compiler. This is the last one, 10 and 10. I will not have the time to make the exercises. I will show you that. So Intel, plenty of things. There are other model matching Intel. And which Intel CC, Intel C compiler. There is no ICC. I try to load it. And then check. Not ICC, Intel. I have one Intel compiler. Check the version. But take care. Okay, for the last question, everybody have the answer to that. I'll show you what I will suggest to try to do. I see. And if you want to try, the one exercises proposing to you is to copy a small C program, very old one, and you copy that in your home directory, like this CP, TMP, so TMP temporary space, where everything can write and read. And then you copy that, so you have your own copy. And then try to compile that with GCC. By default, I have this version. Okay, I can model unload GCC. I don't want any model. GCC minus the. You see why? Because Intel need GCC. So currently I have Intel compiler model, and it need GCC to work. So if I unload it, I also have to unload Intel. Oh, model. No, oh, there are dependency. Unload or purge is something Intel compiler like this. So, try this. We will say that I may not do that. Yeah, no, it's okay. This is the system. So I try to compile it. It's optimization level 3 flow. Let's see, and the output is the name I want to give it, flow, and the version of C. So flow is a very small program which makes loops with multiplication, division, and square root of integer to have an idea of the performance. But just an idea, it's not very relevant, but I don't have any. It's the system model which GCC and the Easybuild is the default integrate into the CentOS operating system. For what? To load it? This is a copy. Oh, sorry. It's fixed. It's fixed. You can do that. I don't permission denied. I was searching about model. Okay, so I've compiled it and I want to execute it. And I see just the result. I see small scalar idea of the level. And then the exercises I suggest is by loading another version, the oldest one or the newest one, in one line. You load it, you compile, you execute, you grab just scalar and you compare if there are versions which are faster than all model load GCC by default in the GCC minus version. This one. And then I compile it with information arbitrary name. Just a warning because the syntax is different and the type of the code is very old, and at the time of the writing of the code, there were no restriction of type mismatching. But now you can remove the error warning by setting implicit function. Never mind. I use in one step. I do that. If it succeeded, then 2 ampersand one after the other. That means that if the previous operation is succeeded, then make something different, and the things is executed, and then grep just scalar. Boom. See, it's worth. If I want to model below GCC, then in one operation, all the things done. And I can do the same. If I put that in a script, one after the other, more I don't remember. I remember that compile script. This one, I load an old version. I specify the version of GCC I want. I compile it. I set a specific executable name, and then I execute it. And then I load another version with version 8. I compile it with a specific name. I execute it, and I grep scalar. And in one operation, I can execute it. course. We'll put this one, get this result, the old version, and the new version is, and then the newest one. So this is what I wanted to do. But I come back to the booklet because the last, of course, it was this version. This version is when you set the 21B, which is newer than 21A. .2.4. Yeah, people who are, you can take care of the, I didn't write by purpose 21A, I said that the first release of, thank you. Yes. I hope that you know are more familiar with module, and don't hesitate to ask questions if you have the need of specific software. We are there to help you to install it in your home with Easybuild, .locale, or if it's not existing in Easybuild toolchain, we do that by hand, or we help you to do that. It's better.